to the action because they only know they have an hour to deal with.
Mm-hmm. There's not many backstage promos and shenanigans going on.
Just don't give me 3 hours of SmackDown now.
No.
Leave SmackDown at 2 hours, and please, can we make Raw 2 hours?
Well, now that you're having the brand split, you would think that would happen because you're going to have so much time to fill. What are you going to do? Have a 20-minute segment with the Golden Truth doing some shtick backstage antics? I have you speechless right now.
Yeah, I really don't know what to think of those gimmicks. They could have actually done something with Breezango.
Yeah, they really could.
2 wrestlers who were just floating around, and now they're a sideshow joke.
And Tyler Breeze was big in NXT when he was down there.
But do we have to have all these shenanigans? That's what kind of, drew people away from the old eras. There were a lot of jokey wrestlers. You know, it was not as serious.
Well, one name that comes to mind that is just who he is, and as I watch him more and more, I see a cross between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Jake the Snake Roberts is Dean Ambrose.
Yes.
I think he's like his real character. He's raw. He throws in the humor when he has to, but at the same time... Uncle Dino, exactly.
Uncle frickin' Dino.
He's going to teach you a lesson. Actually, he'll make it 2 lessons.
Yep. He's not the guy. He's not the man.
He's the dude.
He's the dude. You got to love Dean. And the fact... I thought about turning him heel, and when I watched Raw last night and heard all the fans said, "You deserve this,"
yep,
that's it. You can't even fathom them turning him heel.
Nope, not at all.
Like they loved Roman Reigns and didn't want to change him. You can't possibly do this to Dean Ambrose.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be that, like you said, that Austin, that cool, that character, funny, although mix in a little bit of the way he was when he was in the Shield.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mix a little bit of that in there.
And that's the problem with Roman Reigns, I feel. I mean, he's slowly playing the heel card when he's saying things, getting under the fans' skin. But to have him, he's almost like a robot at times. You have to let him just be himself, I think.
I like the fact that him telling people to shut up. I like that.
So do I.
Do that.
Yeah.
And do that. Less talking and more beating people up. Mm-hmm. We've been saying this for months. Mm-hmm. More beating people up.
And where are the Usos? Have him back with the Usos. I mean...
no. Beat them up as well.
Really?
Have him beat them up. Yes. Unless they turn heel as well and make a little faction out of that.
They should turn heel. And have the 3 of them be like these big ass kickers of Samoan nonsense. And just take no names, take no prisoners type of deal.
Maybe. I could see that. I just they gotta pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. This is actually the perfect time because we're already seeing the ramifications of this.
Other than Kurt Angle, who would you like?
You totally just went off.
I know
the grid right there.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about this draft.
Well, before you go back into the draft, since we're on the topic of Reigns and Rollins and Dean Ambrose. I think the perfect thing, because, Rollins is so over, is to have him take the role that Roman Reigns had last year in fighting to get back to be the champion, that he doesn't win the championship until WrestleMania. I
can see that.
He'll be super over.
Because right now, he's so over, he doesn't even need the title.
No, he doesn't need. But the fact that that we got that documentary, that he's fought back, that he won the title and got it taken away just like that, to have him fight back to win that title, that he doesn't get it back until WrestleMania. Maybe Triple H screws him. Maybe we finally get that Seth Rollins Triple H match we've been waiting for.
Do you see all 3 of them on the same roster, or will one of them be on SmackDown?
I think it's smart to put them on the same roster. Mm-hmm. It's just, how are they doing this draft? Is it like the first ever draft where both of the guys come out and they pick who they want? Mm-hmm. Is it like the spin the ball and pick out a name? Is it that kind of a draft? Or
I'd much rather it be that kind of draft. Not like, for my first pick, I take Enzo Amore. And then all of a sudden,
I like that draft, though. I like that draft because it's more realistic. Like
an NFL type draft?
Like an NFL type draft. I mean, that's what the draft is about. The whole ball thing is
okay,
but SmackDown gets AJ Styles. Oh, Raw gets Fandango? I mean, is that how you're going to do the draft?
Maybe. You don't know.
I didn't even like when they started doing that computerized crap
on the screen.
Toward the end of the screen where I definitely didn't buy any of those guys that got drafted.
Uh-huh.
You could tell.
Like they did the first round, and then, we're going to post the second round on the internet for you guys.
Make it as realistic as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, they have a story to tell. They have been, since they came in, they have been the subject of everything. They have been on top of everything since they came in as the team. Through WrestleMania 29, through 30, when they finally made their face turn, to when they broke up.
The Hounds of Justice.
Yeah. And they've been, all three of them, I think, has any one of them besides John Cena main evented a pay-per-view this whole year? They've all main evented a pay-per-view. For most of the year. I don't think any of them have not main evented a pay-per-view this year.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
I think you put those three together,
and
then you put on the other show John Cena, AJ Styles, Randy Orton.
But Randy Orton's been gone so long.
He's coming back.
But do you really want to see Randy Orton continue being in the main event? I feel like...
Who else are you going to put in the main event? Who are you going to put in the main event right now?
Give me a minute to think, okay? I'm thinking, okay?
If it takes you a minute to think about it, then you know Randy Orton needs to be in that right now. Especially when you're splitting the show.
You could have Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is a heel, though. Sure, put him on SmackDown.
John Cena's a face.
Right, but AJ Styles is a heel. So now you have Kevin Owens on SmackDown. Now you also need someone else to combat that. Cesaro is not going to give you the same pop that a Randy Orton's going to give you. As much as I love
with the fans
Cesaro,
right now. He's over with the fans.
There's something missing.
What is it?
I don't know what it is, but there's something missing from Cesaro that he's just not getting to that point. When you watched the ladder match, you had Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Dean Ambrose. Put those guys in order of how much the fans love them.
Sami Zayn, you said?
Cesaro and Dean Ambrose. Put how much the fans love them in a certain order.
I would go with...
Who's first?
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. Who's second?
Sami Zayn.
If Sami and Cesaro's been there longer. He's been there way longer. And Sami Zayn is more over than Cesaro. Something is missing from Cesaro's character. I don't know what it is.
So then put Sami Zayn at SmackDown.
Is missing. But are we gonna continue doing? See, I think we're getting towards the end of the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens saga.
I think it will conclude at Battleground.
Yes.
So after
and
that,
I think they're splitting after this.
I would agree on that. So,
but Randy Orton, I think, is the you can put Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton can fight against each other.
But Randy Orton is so much better as a heel than he is a face.
He's not going to come back, though. The WWE is in need of faces now that you have the club around and that you have, obviously, Roman Reigns is probably going to be turning soon.
And the Wyatt family has returned.
We don't know, though, about the Wyatt family. If they're straight up heels or not.
I mean, only time can tell what's going to happen. July 19th, it's what? It's less than a month away now.
But I'm just telling you how I would split them up. You have to continue this feud between... I mean, we can't just get a taste of it at Battleground.
No, because I think this is definitely a WrestleMania type of match.
And then if you want to split them up again, fine. I think it needs to go through... These guys are intertwined forever.
But here's one thing. If they're doing this whole draft, okay, and they're going to split everybody up, what happens after a while when we've seen a lot of these storylines going down? Do you have another draft? Do you throw everybody back? Like, we'll say
You draft each year.
Each year, I was going to say...
You reshuffle the deck
I was going to say 2-year span at least. Do 2 years, everybody intertwines whatever on SmackDown, they intertwine whoever you want in the mid-cards and the main event. Then, come the 2 years, do you do another draft?
I think you do the draft each year and freshen it up. Fans, you know how they get. They get bored very easily. You switch it up each year. You have the big storylines go around each year, and then that's it. Like the cap off for the Shield would be at WrestleMania to me. Mm-hmm. You cap them off there.
Well, you also have all these NXT stars that they say they're going to bring up. So does that mean Nakamura? Does he move up? Does Samoa Joe come up?
Samoa Joe and Finn Balor are going to move up before Nakamura. Nakamura we won't see on WWE programming until probably next year. Or maybe they even hold him back a year after that until they find someone else that's going to be the face. Because have you heard the fanfare for Nakamura in NXT?
Yes. He's so over.
He is so over. He is the new face.
You don't even need a belt for him.
Yes, he's going to be the new face of NXT for a while now. And they're starting to... Obviously, they're going to replenish the roster once Finn Balor and Samoa Joe leaves. You see they brought in the Eric Youngs and they brought in the Bobby Roodes. And we also have Austin Aries. So they're pretty stacked there for that. But I think that when they'll bring up maybe 1 or 2 guys right now from NXT, we'll probably see We'll see Finn Balor. We'll probably see Bayley eventually come up, especially when they split the women's division. And if the women get another title, we'll definitely have to see Bayley come up sooner or later.
I really want to see her come up because when you see her on those NXT specials, like behind the scenes, and they're always interviewing her, the last one they had, and she's like, oh, well, all my friends are going up, and I just lost the title. We're going to see what happens next for me. And you just feel for her because you know how hard of amount of work she puts in to this business, and it's just you just want to see her succeed, and you just want to give her a hug. That's what you really want to do.
She's a hugger. She's a hugger. Oh. But yeah, I'm excited for this draft. You can see the passion pouring out of both of us for this draft as we wait.
Yeah.
July 19th, live, SmackDown on Tuesdays. We're all waiting to see this draft unless you're TNA. And I'm telling you, TNA has a lot of problems going on. We'll get into that when we come back from break. Yeah. If you watched what happened after Slammiversary, which was maybe the show that wasn't that happened. We'll also get into the incident, I guess, with Jerry the King Lawler, and also John Cena sporting a new T-shirt.
Yeah, but also, quickly, another tease. What happens now with the commentating? That's what I want to know.
Yes, we'll get into the commentating as well. As, especially now with Jerry the King Lawler out, where do they go with the commentating? Because there's one person that I would love never to see again, and that's Byron Saxton. So we'll go to break on that. Anthony the Ant-Man alongside Keith Logan the Loganator on Ringside Rumble Radio here on Spreaker.com, free on iTunes, and now on iHeartRadio.
Dr. Gaines, nice to see you getting groceries instead of in your office.
Hi, Julia. How are the kids?
Abigail and David are doing great. They're at home with a bunch of other kids and their poor dad. These bags are supplies.
Now, I have to put on my pediatrician's hat here. I haven't seen them in my office for their flu vaccines yet. Are you bringing them in?
They're big kids. Do they need flu vaccines?
Oh, absolutely. The CDC recommends flu vaccination for all kids from 6 months through 18 years. Flu can be serious. I mean, think about how fast flu can spread through a school or even your own home. Speaking of that, I heard your mom's coming to town. How about you, your husband, and Grandma all getting vaccinated too?
Wow, if the pediatrician is worried about the grown-ups, flu must be serious. I'll get the kids their flu vaccines, Doc. Don't worry.
And you can get your flu shot at the back of the store here. I'll even treat you to a lollipop.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. he's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm